Hey everybody, today we're going to be checking out a whole new indie game, and the studio personally reached out to me to check out the demo that's available on Steam store. It's not a game that's out yet. They have a demo available for everyone to play, so this is not a special occasion or anything, but they were kind enough to reach out to me and ask me to try the demo and put my personal thoughts about the game and impressions on the game demo and talk about it. And I asked them if they're okay with me sharing my honest thoughts about the game, and they said go for it. So we're gonna check it out. I'm gonna share my thoughts, and hopefully this will be a good one. Just before we jump in, I just want to share a little bit about what the game is and the studio behind the game. They are a two-person team, so it's a very small indie team based in Sri Lanka, which is where I'm from. I'm really proud to be able to try this. So they are a two-person team, mainly works on 3D animation. They do have a YouTube channel that puts out 3D animation and effects shots in there. If you can go check it out, I'll put the link down below. And they use Unreal Engine together with Maya and Houdini for their animation work. So how they started with this was they started creating game assets for Fab Store, and that led them to experiment with simple games of their own, and then they learned a whole bunch of stuff about game development from that and environmental design, and they decided to dip their toes into game development. And as a result of that, now we have a demo available for their upcoming game, Journey Through the Undead, and we're gonna try it on and see how it plays, and I'm gonna share my thoughts with you. So let's go. All right, here's the game. All right, let's start with new game. Normal, hard, easy. Go normal. Okay, looks good so far. This guy. Are you having a good time up there, buddy? Get in. Okay, Journey Through the Undead. Okay, so I finished the demo for Journey Through the Undead, and that was fantastic. I encountered no bugs or crashes at all for the demo, but since this is just a slice of the game and not the full game, I can't really say the same about how the full game will be. But for the demo, it actually performed fantastic. I had it all in high settings. However, there was some extreme popping of assets and textures in the game. Minor popping's always allowed, I think. In most games, you do encounter these kind of issues, but in this game, I've encountered some extreme amount of popping of textures and assets, sometimes like right in front of you, which became a little too distracting for the gameplay. If that can be fixed though, the game has beautiful environments and they can be highlighted and appreciated more. I know it might be a little easier said than done, but if we can fix the popping, beautiful game. The game controls feels pretty responsive for what it is. Melee weapons feels a little basic. However, they do have variety in terms of how slow they are or how fast they are, how much reach they have, and how much damage each weapon do. However, you just have to like experience it and find out yourself, because there's no stats or anything shown in the weapons. I couldn't find any stats for each weapon or anything, so you just have to experience it and get a feel for it each time. Whoa, I feel like, bro, okay, holy shit, okay, that escalated quickly. With both the controller and the mouse and keyboard, I found with the guns, shooting hipfire was easier than shooting aim down sight. Not sure if this was by design, but aiming down sight did not feel as good as shooting hip fire. It felt a little too uncontrollable and really high recoil with the aim down sight, but it was a little easier to shoot hipfire. The sound design for guns could also be a little bit improved, I think. Just an idea, just to mix up the sounds for the zombies. That might make it a little bit more immersive, because you just keep hearing the same generic zombie sound. Even like you kind of hear like deep gnarly zombie sounds for girl zombies as well. I don't know if that's intended. Like, I feel like for girl zombies you should have like a higher pitched zombie voice. if you know what I mean. See, this is like a tiny zombie. Why does she have a deep gnarly voice? That makes no sense, right? I understand this is literally an indie game made by 2 people, so what I've experienced, but given it's made by just 2 people, was amazing. But my concern is there are many shooters out there doing pretty much the same thing, more or less the same thing. We do have a lot of zombie games in this vein, and they do have much better sound design and controls for guns specifically, so including other indie games. So if this has any chance of standing out on its own, the gun controls and sounds, I think, need to feel a little more satisfying and sounding good. So I think if we can work on a little on that, I think that would actually make for a really good game. I do have a little bit of a gripe with the health pickups. I felt that healing felt a little uneven for medium level difficulty. I haven't tried the other 2 levels, just the medium. I felt like you should be able to hold down the heal button, whatever it is, and choose your healing items as different items do different amounts of healing. Sometimes you just want to eat a mango just to heal like a little bit of damage you took, or sometimes you just got to use a first aid kit. Also, health items should heal a little more than they do now, I feel, because you carry health, like 10 health items, but you need at least 8 of them to actually fully heal the health bar just once, which feels a little disproportionate to how much health items you carry. That's a concern. But however, like, you do find a lot of health pickups and ammo lying around in the world, like, so you realistically not really gonna run out of them, just in terms of how much health you're carrying and how much you might have to heal on the go while you're, you know, dealing with zombies. It felt like you just have like you have 10 items, but all of those 10 items will be needed to fully heal your bar again, and then you just out again. So it feels a little weird. I feel like the healing portion of each item should be at least doubled, if not a little less. So just something to think about. Other than that, it was great. Like I mentioned at the start of the game, what I realized was the button mapping was a little weird. We had Y or triangle if you're on PlayStation controls, if you're playing on a controller. If you're playing on keyboard, it doesn't matter. On keyboard, you got the right controls, but on a controller, it had weird button mapping, because usually you use triangle or Y to switch between weapons, and then you use square to pick up items and also to reload your gun. The reload button is a D-pad right. On the controller, you had this button. This is for pick up items, and this is to switch between weapons, which threw me off a little bit. And then the D-pad right to reload, which was a little weird. I haven't seen that control scheme in other games. Usually you use square to reload. So I think in terms of button mapping, I'm not sure. I haven't actually gone back and checked whether you can do your own custom mapping. You should be able to. I think that the default should be what normally people are used to using a controller for this game, because that'll make it a little easier for people to jump in and experience it with the controller, because not everybody's going to use the mouse and keyboard. I know a lot of people do like using the controller even on PC. So that's something to also think about. Had a lot of great options, a lot of options available in the menu. However, like I said, the controller doesn't really work properly on the menu. The menu, you can move the cursor with the controller, but it's intended to be used with a mouse and keyboard. But once you get into the game, if you're using a controller, you can use it normally. So that's great. That's really great. Overall, my thoughts on Journey Through the Undead demo. Great game. It's actually very quality for something that I have seen coming from Sri Lanka. I've played games that's come out of Sri Lanka before, made by other studios, but I feel like this actually has a lot of potential to be a great zombie game in the same category as, you know, Dead Island. It has a very similar vibe to Dead Island, and I loved Dead Island 2 as well. Okay, so can I come here and dance? That's some great mocap, guys. Just a little bit more work on this would actually go a long way. Just balancing some of that health stuff and the texture popping issues and stuff like that. Other than that, the game looks beautiful. It has a lot of potential, and I can't wait until they release the full game, and I'm gonna definitely try it out. And I hope this gets more recognition than it's been given so far. It has some great environments, and they all look great. You can get off the truck anytime. Oh, look at this place. Whoa. Beautiful, man. Dude, look at the water graphics. Okay, you know what? That water in the distance looks better than some of the games I've seen. Like from AA, AAA games. And run through them. With the demo, you don't experience a lot of variety with the zombie types because it's just a demo. But I've seen on their Steam page with the screenshots that they do actually have a lot of variety when it comes to zombies. It looks like they might have like giant bugs as well, which I haven't encountered in the demo itself, and also like animals. I don't know if you have to fight them or anything, but yeah, and you get to see some of the like whimsical environments with like giant mushrooms and stuff. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what the full game has to offer. Very impressive coming from a two-person indie team. I hope this goes really well for them. I wish them all the best. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and drop a comment about what you thought of the game. And I'll put a link down here. You can try the demo yourself if you on PC. Unfortunately, it's not available on consoles yet. And yeah, if you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing. That'll really help me out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.